last Friday.
Yes.
The matter of the validity of the 27 lawmakers has been laid to rest finally. If there is any court that plans to hear that matter, because I hear people say, oh, that matter has not been decided. By the pronouncement of the Supreme Court, and stated clearly in the CTC, that case will not even be heard anymore, because you know you are heading nowhere.
Okay.
The Supreme Court has decided that courts can't even entertain that matter. I want to believe that if somebody believes that he had been unduly sent packing, he can still go to the courts. But what the Supreme Court has said firmly is that the House of Assembly, in this case the Speaker, can declare a seat vacant. And there are reasons for which that can be done. Absenteeism is one of those. If you fail to meet the mandatory number of days that you should sit, they can declare a seat vacant. Then defection, the matter of defection. But this judgment puts that power in the hands of the House, not in the hands of the court. Now, so that it doesn't look like, oh, we are just saying what we like, I'm going to read some excerpts from the judgment. The Constitution that provides that a House may act notwithstanding any vacancy in the membership and the presence of any person not entitled to be present at or to participate in the proceedings of the House shall not invalidate such proceedings, cannot be relied upon to validate proceedings of a House of Assembly in the absence of over 90% of the members, or to justify a vacancy created by the illegal exclusion of a member of the House, or to justify the contrived illegal exclusion of 27 members. The doctrine of necessity cannot be invoked to justify the continued existence of a deliberately contrived illegal status quo. The point that the Supreme Court is making is that you cannot cite doctrine of necessity to now sustain an illegality. Having just 3 persons now, there used to be 4, running the House of Assembly, in the view of the justices of the Supreme Court, is an aberration and cannot be allowed. So going forward now, 3 members, 4 members, 5 members, 6 members, 7 members shall not legally preside over a House of Assembly, because they are, in terms of number, they are too low to play that role. Now, the court says only the House can declare a seat vacant over a defection, and not the governor of a state. Not even the court can do so. Now, to show that the Supreme Court has determined the validity of those members conclusively, the Apex Court said inter alia, it is an engagement, I'm quoting now, quote, it is an engagement in chicanery. I don't know whether that's the way it's pronounced. The argument of the learned son for the cross-appellant that the 27 members have defected has no evidence. It is not shown or suggested that their names are now in the register of members of another party, or that they have obtained membership card of that other party. Membership register and membership card constitute the only proof of membership of a political party. So the Supreme Court effectively ruled that as long as those guys are not in the membership register of the APC that they were led to have crossed to, or do not bear the membership card
the APC,
as long as they are not in the register, as long as they do not have the membership card, you cannot say that they joined that party. Which is, I have talked about this in the past. One day we will cite where I said, look, if they are not on the register, they are still family in the register of the PDP. They have not been expunged from the register of the PDP. And they are not in the register of the other party. Yes, they got up to say they wanted to leave. But the steps that they should have taken to validate their defection, they never took those steps. The law is not by nature emotional. The rest of us were emotional. Once they knew that once they took those steps, it will be in the records that they have moved. They didn't take those steps. They were watching to see what happened. Oh, somebody said they swore to an affidavit. Affidavit to say they were leaving. But the Supreme Court has now told us that you have to be, your name has to be in the register of the party you are going. And you have to have the membership card of the party you are going. In this case, their names are still family in the register of the PDP. So where are they? So that is the thing. The Supreme Court will work on facts.
Because now that the courts cannot justify the issue of defection, does that mean that politicians or lawmakers they are now at liberty to defect at will?
If you defect,
now that it's been taken away, is it taken away from the court?
Let me tell you. If you defect, it is now what I've seen in this judgment that I may not even like, is the fact that the ruling party has an advantage. The speaker of a party, the speaker of a house, who is from the ruling party, if you defect
to his own party,
to an opposition party,
he can declare it vacant.
He can then declare your seat vacant. But I know they will do that.
But if it comes to his party,
you, he will not declare your seat vacant. And now that it's always been there that you can declare a seat vacant.
I know. But
by presiding officers, it's there in the Constitution that they can preside. What the Supreme Court has done is to say, no, courts, you have no power. And I think that because of the way people manipulate the judiciary, some governor may not like some lawmakers, for example, and they can use the courts to take their seats. I guess they were also thinking that was possible. But the Constitution gives power to the presiding officer to declare. Yes, it's not that one is new. Now that has been validated. So in this case now, will Amewule declare his own seat vacant, or say, okay, 27 of us we are also said we defected, we have lost our seat as the speaker. Is recognized now as the speaker. That case, the most important thing that has come out of here is that case is dead. It's dead. It's a closed chapter. From what I've read now, which is from the CTC, it is a closed chapter. People should stop talking about it, that there is one case somewhere. That one has not been decided. It's because we had not seen the CTC.
But now if you look at what he's been doing now, when the House of Assembly said the Martina Mewule, the valid House of Assembly now said, look, submit your budget. The budget you submitted, the one that was passed, is invalid. You have 48 hours. He responded that he sent back a memo to them, although he claimed that what he saw was on social media. I should give him. But at least he's responding. I think that if he has very good advisors, he just has to bow. So, see, Rivers State is bigger than all these shenanigans. There must be governance. Okay? For me, I just think that the governor just has no choice but to bow to the Supreme Court judgment. Now, there are things you can settle politically. For example, the issue of the commissioners. Now, you can extend, by the logic of that Supreme Court judgment, you can say that there are no commissioners. Because those commissioners were
cleared by an illegal House of Assembly.
If there's a way you can agree.
The House of Assembly not recognized by law.
Exactly. Because those people are ready to make trouble. This Martin Amewule, they are ready to now assert, and the way they are talking, probably Fubara needs to stoop to conquer. See, governance is more than all of these things. There is a lot to do in Rivers State. So I think at some point they need to come to, in some aspects, they need to come to political solution.
Political solution. Yeah, Big O talked about it, that you can still win.
I said back then that it's the courts that will put an end to the nonsense going on.
Not politics.
And we have seen now, once the courts have spoken,
There's no chance.
The most central character in this whole matter is the governor. He can make or mar his own administration by the steps that he takes. And I've always said that we've had good governors who lost the opportunity God gave them because they didn't play their politics right. So the point that I'm making is the Supreme Court has given its verdict. This governor is not looking for trouble. Ultimately, some of them will start having a rethink. It just happens that he is not a politically strategic person. Because you have to be politically strategic. Times like this call for it. There are steps that you will take that will show that you are tired of fighting. One of my former bosses, he knows him, he told me one day, said, Jide, tí ọkọ àti ìyàwó bá ti ń gbé papọ̀ for some time, ìjà máa reduce. Because we used to quarrel and he had to tell me, he said, husband and wife, if they were used to quarreling, after a while, they start understanding each other. And then peace will reign. Once the governor shows that he's not interested in fight, he wants to just govern the state and make a difference, Fubara still has the chance to be the best governor in Rivers State and probably Nigeria. The resources at his disposal now can make him do tremendous work for the state, can make him give himself immortality. But he has to do the right things. These are not the days when you get adversarial. No. Comply with the ruling, because as you have seen now, the Supreme Court has validated those members. No court in Nigeria can send those lawmakers packing anymore, based on the statement of the Supreme Court. That only the register as well as the membership card confirms the membership of a political party.
So whether you know, the flag or anything.
No. It's only a judge that is looking for NJC's Wala that probably
that will even sit on that
matter.
It's a matter that Supreme Court adjudicated upon. You'll be taking a big risk.
So in other words, the governor should just put ego aside and
work together with them.
There are some victories you win by stooping. Stoop to conquer.
We've seen people stoop to conquer.
You will still achieve what you would achieve. It is not every time you have to war. They say, let us judge Abi, so that we don't always have to war. There are ways to do these things without necessarily being, at war all the time. This has happened in the Supreme Court. You may not like the judgment.
Yes.
It's not every time we agree with the Supreme Court. But as things stand,
but whether we agree or not, the judgment is binding.
Exactly.
They say if you go agree with the Supreme Court, go to the court.
You have to go to heaven to appeal.
Go to heaven to appeal.
God's judgment is next now.
True.
Nowhere else to go.
Sure.
So that's it.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm confident that Rivers State will find peace. The profit entrepreneurs who have been going from TV station to TV station, worsening the crisis in Rivers State, this is the time for them to turn a new leaf.
Okay.
Stop stoking the embers of war in Rivers State. Let Rivers State enjoy peace.
Okay.
I know you are selfish because you are going there to make money, but this is the time for you to have a rethink.
All right.
There will be Rivers State. I'm looking at them now.
You are talking to them.
Are looking, and they know who they are. You are going there. You left your own state. You are going there to foment trouble. Telling them that, look, don't worry, if the courts are useless, this and that. The Supreme Court has given a verdict. the Rivers State governor has to obey the verdict of the Supreme Court. He has told us that he will obey. I know that you people will still go to him and say, no, this one, don't do it immediately. Don't do this. Don't do this. If they don't stop what they are doing, the anger of God is coming.
All right, it's a fine place for us to leave it, Paul. Thank you so much. Very beautiful one. BKO, a brilliant one. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday.